Kind of reflecting on last year, I think there was a lot of positive growth from our younger players. We saw some of the returning guys really step up and take that step forward in leadership. And that's something that we expected them to carry on this year. So we've put a lot on this returning group, and that's something that we would expect them to bring this new group in, kind of get them on the same page in terms of how things are done on a day-to-day basis.
We've been doing a lot of team dinners, team lunches throughout the preseason, and we just try to hang out with them as much as possible because our team is a family. We're nothing more than a family. We're all together. Everything we do on and off the field is always together, and we always stay together.
One of the big things we've really tried to get on early in preseason is the cohesion of our group, because we do want this group to be a very tight-knit group. Because when you have setbacks and adversity, those relationships are going to be tested. And if we have strong relationships amongst the group, we hope that we can withstand those challenges. Because again, our season isn't going to be easy.
We have a lot of great returners coming back, especially with forwards and midfielders. But this year with our new recruiting class, we do have a lot more depth than we have had in the past few years, which is great to have, especially on the attacking side and defending side.
There's been a multitude of challenges with our preseason, but I think that's with anything. There's always going to be adversity, and I think for us, we've done a good job of responding to that adversity. And a lot of that stems from the upperclassmen. Like I said, we've put a lot on them to make sure that guys are held to a certain standard, and they have to set that standard. And so there are certain things as a coaching staff we've asked them to make sure you're holding the rest of the group accountable for it. And they've done a pretty good job of that. Our freshmen are fairly talented, and I think they're starting to see that on a given day, nothing's guaranteed for them. And I think that's really the direction we're trying to take things. We're trying to make it a very highly competitive group from 1 to 32. We don't want anyone to feel like something is guaranteed for them, but I do think that's a good thing because, again, we want guys pushing each other in a positive way, and hopefully that leads to better performances and hopefully collective success.
Well, I mean, the competition every year with Coach MacDougall keeps raising our standards, and we're going to come out every game knowing that we can win that game. No one's better than us, even though they sound like they could be based off ranking. But we know that if we go out there with hard work, pride in our name, we have a shot of winning.
That's the beauty of a place like Salisbury. You're capable and you have the opportunities to play against the best teams in the country. And that for us as a growing young team, I think that's invaluable. I think when it's all said and done, we'll have 6 or 7 nationally ranked teams on our schedule, which is going to really test our young group. And we saw some really good performances last year based on, not necessarily the result, but just the general collective group understanding of what they were going against. And they really, really wanted to prove themselves. We want to have a top 20-25 schedule in the country. We want to test ourselves against the best. I'd like to see us take a step forward in terms of a combination of results and I would say our general play. As a program, I don't want to be as reactive to teams. I'd like to be on the front foot a little bit more, meaning we can feel comfortable pressing higher up the field with our personnel. In terms of run of play, I'd like to have more of the ball and we can maybe create more chances through the general run of play. I feel like last year a little more reactive in terms of what teams were doing. We had to react to them, whereas I would like to start to flip that onus a bit and maybe have the situation and the personnel to where now we can step on a field and say, this is how we're going to approach it. You guys have to react to us. And I think that's just mixing the group, blending the group, figuring out combinations that work, and obviously developing an identity because we've only had, 4 or 5 days of preseason. So it's definitely a challenge, and that's going to take a few first games to kind of get that group going. But between the relationships and obviously more on-field success, but just in terms of our general play, with and without the ball, I'd like to see us progress a little bit more this fall.
Coach MacDougall's done a great job, especially with all of us. After 2 years, we know what he's expecting, we know what he wants. And I mean, it's just been a fun time. We know that we got to go out there and enjoy it. We're prepared for anything. And especially with the big wins, no one wants to come to Salisbury. No one wants to come to Salisbury. On the island, it's tough to win out there.